Every failed strategy has a moment where someone in the room says, "I think we've done enough research, let's just decide." That moment is usually where things go wrong. Not because the team lacked intelligence, because they lacked structure. They had opinions, they didn't have insight. Welcome back to the Product Marketing Masterclass. I'm Gerardo Data, and in this lesson, we're going to walk through 7 of the most useful frameworks in strategic planning, the tools that turn scattered market noise into a small number of clear, defensible choices. Before we get into the tools themselves, I want to be precise about what they are, and, just as important, what they are not. These frameworks do not produce a strategy. No model, no matrix, no 2x2 grid will hand you the answer. What they do is something more valuable. They force rigor. They make you look at your market, your competitors, and your own capabilities in a structured way, so that when you finally make a choice, it's grounded in something more solid than instinct or internal politics. I've watched executive teams fall in love with a framework simply because it looks sophisticated. A dense 5-force diagram covered in arrows can feel like proof that you've done serious strategic work. It isn't. The value of any framework is measured by one thing only. Does it make a complex, ambiguous situation easier to understand and easier to decide on? If a tool doesn't simplify, it's not helping, it's decoration. So as we go through each of these 7 tools, keep one question in the back of your mind. What decision is this helping me make? A SWOT that doesn't lead anywhere is an academic exercise. A 5 forces analysis that just confirms what you already believed is a waste of a good afternoon. Use these tools to generate insight, then move on to the decision. This lesson draws from my upcoming book, Outposition, where I dedicate a full chapter to these tools and how they connect into a single, coherent strategic planning process. I'll drop a link below if you want to go deeper than we have time for today. Let's get into the 7 frameworks, starting with the one almost everyone already knows and almost everyone uses badly. SWOT is the simplest model in the Strategist Toolkit, and one of the most powerful when it's used with discipline. It's a 2x2 matrix that captures 4 things about a company, a product, or a brand. Strengths: the current internal factors working in your favor. Weaknesses: the current internal factors working against you. Opportunities: external factors that could accelerate success in the future. And threats: external risks that could limit that success. Notice the structure hiding inside this simple grid. It forces you to separate internal from external and present from future. That's the real discipline, not filling in 4 boxes, but resisting the temptation to blur those distinctions. Here's where most teams get it wrong. They treat SWOT as a brainstorming dump. 20 bullet points per box, none of them prioritized. The usefulness of this tool collapses the moment you lose focus. A good SWOT has a handful of items per quadrant, the ones that actually matter, synthesized, not transcribed from a meeting. And a SWOT that stops at the 4 boxes hasn't done its job. Once the matrix is complete, the real work begins. Build tactics that use your strengths, shore up your weaknesses, capture the opportunities, and defend against the threats. This is a tool you can use at almost any altitude: corporate strategy, a single product line, even a personal career decision. Its power is its simplicity. Don't dress it up. This next one is more complex, and frankly, more misunderstood than any other tool we'll cover today. Porter's 5 forces exist to answer one question: how competitive is this industry, and where does the power sit within it? It's not a tool for understanding your company. It's a tool for understanding the battlefield your company operates on at a specific point in time. The first force is the threat of new entrants. How easy it would be for a new competitor to enter your market. Some industries have steep barriers, heavy capital requirements like airlines, strict regulation like trading, or highly specialized skill like Formula One racing. Other barriers include switching costs, intellectual property, and economies of scale. The second force is the threat of substitutes. how likely customers are to solve their problem a completely different way. For an airline, the substitute might be a train or a video call. For a soda brand, it might be water or tea. Switching costs matter here too. The third force is buyer power, how much leverage your customers hold. When there are many equivalent suppliers offering similar value at similar prices, buyers can push back on price and terms. Price sensitivity, switching costs, and brand loyalty all shift this balance. The fourth force is supplier power, the mirror image. Some industries depend on a small number of powerful suppliers who effectively control the market, think diamonds or oil. Others have many competing suppliers with low switching costs, which shifts power back to the buyer. And the fifth force, arguably the one that matters most, because it's shaped by the other four, is competitive rivalry. How aggressively do the players in this industry fight each other? Price wars, advertising spend, innovation pace, and market concentration all show up here. Now, here's my honest take, and it's a little contrarian. I think some people love this framework because it feels intellectually impressive. Filling out a 5-force diagram gives you the satisfying sense of having done thorough, sophisticated work, even when the conclusion was obvious from the start. There's a reason high-end consulting firms sometimes present findings in unnecessarily complicated ways. It leaves the client with two possible conclusions. Either the fee was money well spent, given how complex this all is, or the firm must be brilliant to have made sense of it. Don't fall into that trap yourself. The purpose of any strategic tool is to make the ambiguous more concrete, not to demonstrate how clever you are. Used well, 5 forces is genuinely useful for big, structural decisions, whether to enter a market, who to partner with, which company to acquire. Used badly, it's 45 minutes you'll never get back. If 5 forces helps you understand a market, the BCG Matrix helps you understand your own portfolio. Which products or business units deserve more investment, which deserve to be maintained, and which deserve to be cut loose. This tool was developed in the 1970s by the Boston Consulting Group, and it plots each product on 2 axes: market attractiveness, or growth potential, on the vertical scale, and your ability to win, or market share, on the horizontal scale. Low share in an unattractive, low-growth market, these are your dogs. The honest move is usually to divest and redirect that energy toward stronger bets. Successful products in growing markets are your stars. These deserve continued investment, even if it costs you some short-term profitability, because they're the engine of future growth. Low share in a high opportunity market, these are question marks. They require real judgment. Some will become stars with the right investment. Others will quietly become dogs no matter what you do. Your job is to tell the difference early. And successful products in markets that have stopped growing are your cash cows. Don't expect new competitors to come chasing a stagnant market, but don't neglect these either. Maintain share and let them fund the rest of the portfolio. Jack Welch built a large part of GE's success on a version of this discipline, refusing to stay in businesses where GE couldn't be first or second. Even at GE's scale, you cannot fund every bet equally. The BCG Matrix gives you a visual, defensible way to make that call. Zoom out further, and you get PESTEL, a framework for scanning the macro environment your business operates in. Originated in the 1960s by Harvard professor Francis Aguilar, it's less about your industry and more about the world around your industry. Political, government trends, stability and policy. Economic, macroeconomic indicators and forecasts. Social, culture, habits, attitudes, and customs. Technological, the pace of change and access to new technology. Environmental, regulation, protection, and activism. And legal, the regulatory and compliance landscape. This isn't a tool you'll use every quarter, but it's a healthy discipline once or twice a year. A check to make sure you're not so focused on your competitors that you miss the shift in interest rates, regulation, or public sentiment that's about to reshape your entire category. There are variants: PEST, PESTEL, some that add industry or demographic factors. Use whichever variant fits your business. The acronym isn't sacred. The discipline of scanning broadly is. Now let's talk about a framework specifically built for technology adoption, one you'll use constantly if you work in or around emerging tech. The innovation trigger. A potential breakthrough kicks things off. Proof of concept stories, media buzz, and usually no usable product yet. The peak of inflated expectations. Early publicity produces a wave of success stories and an even bigger wave of failures. Some companies act, most don't. The trough of disillusionment. Interest fades as pilots underdeliver. Weaker providers shake out. Only the strongest survive to keep improving the technology. The slope of enlightenment. Second and third generation products emerge. More enterprises fund pilots. The value becomes clearer and more widely understood. And the plateau of productivity. Mainstream adoption takes off. The criteria for evaluating vendors are well established, and the technology's value is proven at scale. Here's the caution I'd add. Don't assume every technology completes this journey. Plenty of promising ideas crash in the trough and never climb back out. The hype cycle isn't a guarantee of eventual success. It's a lens for asking, honestly, where a given technology sits right now, and whether the excitement in the room matches the evidence in the market. Related, but distinct, is Geoffrey Moore's technology adoption life cycle, the model behind his classic book, Crossing the Chasm. Moore describes an early market made up of two groups, enthusiasts and visionaries, who are willing to risk unproven technology for the thrill of being first. Then comes the chasm, the gap where many technologies fail because they aren't mature enough or don't yet solve a real business problem. Some cross it when pragmatist buyers have a pain significant enough to justify the risk of adopting something unproven. Cross that gap and you enter the tornado, where the technology is proven, its value clearly exceeds the alternatives, and pragmatist buyers rush in largely to avoid being left behind. This is where vendors experience explosive growth. Finally, Main Street, where the technology is broadly adopted and the conversation shifts from whether to buy it to how to extract more value from it at lower cost. This model matters because your marketing, your messaging, and your resourcing need to be completely different depending on where your category sits on this curve. What excites a visionary will not convince a pragmatist, and chasing pragmatist-style proof points too early can bore the very enthusiasts you need to build early momentum. Let's close with two frameworks that work best together, because one identifies where value is created and the other tests whether that value is truly defensible. Michael Porter's value chain breaks a company down into the discrete activities that produce its product or service. Primary activities carry the product from input to customer. Support functions, procurement, technology, people, infrastructure, make the primary activities possible. Porter's insight was simple but profound. Competitive advantage isn't a property of the company as a whole. It lives inside specific activities and how they're designed and executed. Map your own value chain honestly, and you'll usually find your real advantage is concentrated in one or two of these activities, not spread evenly across all of them. That's useful because it tells you exactly where to protect and where to invest. Once you've identified a potential source of advantage, an asset, a capability, a piece of intellectual property, run it through the VRIO test, developed by Jay Barney. Is it valuable? Are customers actually willing to pay for it? Is it rare? Is it genuinely scarce, or does everyone in the industry have access to it? Is it imitable, meaning hard to imitate? Can a competitor copy it without major cost or years of rebuilding? And is it organized? Is your company actually structured to capture the value this asset creates, or is it sitting there unused? An asset that fails any one of these tests is not a source of sustainable advantage, no matter how proud you are of it. This is the discipline check that keeps teams honest. It's not enough to be different. The difference has to be valuable, rare, hard to copy, and something your organization is actually built to exploit. Let's bring it together. SWOT gives you a fast, disciplined snapshot of your position. 5 Forces tells you how competitive your industry really is. The BCG Matrix tells you where to invest inside your own portfolio. PESTEL keeps you honest about the world beyond your industry. The Hype Cycle and the Chasm tell you where a technology or your category actually sits in its adoption journey. And Value Chain plus VRIO tell you where your advantage lives and whether it will actually hold up under competitive pressure. None of these tools will make your strategic choice for you. What they do is make that choice defensible, grounded in structured thinking instead of opinion, seniority, or whoever spoke last in the meeting. Use them in the research and analysis phase of your planning process. Then, have the discipline to actually decide. Communicate that decision clearly and stick with it long enough for it to work. If this lesson was useful, I go much deeper into these tools and how they connect into a single, repeatable strategic planning process in my upcoming book, Outposition, a practitioner's guide to achieving market dominance through strategy, differentiation, and positioning mastery. It's built for CEOs, CMOs, product leaders, and anyone who wants to move from strategic theory to strategic practice. You'll find the link in the description along with more details at outpositionbook.com.